The Yeezy 350 V2 Ash Pearl just released yesterday. Very solid colorway. Of course, I have a review up if you want to go and check it out. But yeah, essentially it seems like a pretty easy cop. I mean, that's pretty much what we're seeing when it comes to Yeezy brand. They're like pumping out a large amount of Yeezy 350 in terms of like the stock numbers. And then when it comes to other silhouettes, like, you know, we're talking the 450s, the Yeezy Suns, they're a lot more limited. And I think it's a pretty cool way to go in terms of how the brand operates. These brands are always trying to have this balancing act of making a lot of pairs so they can generate a decent amount of revenue, and then obviously trying to keep it limited to keep the hype going on the product. This was a solid colorway. If you wanted it, you should have been able to get it. Maybe if you're a smaller size, that would have been a little bit of a tougher task. But as the 350 goes, I think it's cool. I'm glad I managed to get a pair. Let me know how you guys did. Now, we also had the Quantums, which are still, I think, available in a couple places. I've got my pair in here, which hasn't been unboxed. Ooh. Which hasn't been unboxed just yet because I'm going to save that for a video. I haven't seen it, but we will get into that next week. Next week is looking to be pretty crazy, but before we get into some of the upcoming releases, I wanted to talk about these, man, which seemed like such a low-key drop. The reissue or the restock of the OG Adidas Futurecraft 4D. It's so ridiculous. I went into the weekend knowing that I wanted it. I said the notify thing for the confirmed app drop, and it was at 11 a.m. And by the time 11 a.m. came around, I obviously just forgot about it or was too busy, and it was too late. This completely sold out. So if you guys went for the Futurecraft 4D, it's a solid pair of shoes. It's the OG. So for a lot of people who, you know, were into this shoe back when it first released, I think it's a really cool pair of sneakers. I really wanted to get it. Obviously, I couldn't, but let me know how you guys did. But with that being said, that's pretty much it for the weekend recap. Of course, we had the Jordan 3 Georgetowns, but they haven't released here in the EU just yet. So again, out in the US, maybe you guys managed to cop, but let's keep it moving. Right, so earlier this year, we heard all this information about the next Off-White and Nike collaboration, right? It was going to be called the 20, and we were all getting super excited, and we're like, yo, we're going to get more Virgil collaboration sneakers. It's going to be crazy. Well, guess what? We just got news that it might just be the 20 dunks. And then we heard that it might be 50 dunks. So let me break this down. So essentially, what we're kind of looking at here is the possibility that it could be literally 50 pairs of dunks. They're all the same base color of dunks. However, they have some minor differences. For example, this little number tag that you see on the sole, this one says 30 out of 50, and this one has the little off-white tag, and it has some pink laces. Now, it ranges from this one, I think that says 02 or 08 on the tag, and then this one has green laces. But essentially the base is all the gray and white. And then the final dunk is going to be a triple black colorway. So the 50 out of 50 dunk is going to be triple black. We still have the Jordan 4, the Bread Jordan 4 collaboration. We still have a lot of different sneakers in the works, but yeah, this just seems like a very random thing if it actually is the case. So if you are interested, if you haven't had enough of dunks just yet, there is another Virgil or Off-White and of course Nike collaboration in the works on a bunch of different dunks. Now, next up, we got to talk about this Kanye West becoming a just extremely wealthy dude. And again, that has huge amounts to do with his Yeezy brand. So essentially what happened was the news broke out that he was worth, or his estimated worth was $6.6 billion. And this is crazy. And I think it's, you know, right around the corner from the Yeezy Gap collaboration that's coming out, and everybody's kind of speculating on how much that is going to bring in terms of revenue. So we have a little estimated breakdown here. So it says West's net worth is estimated at $6.6 billion, in large part due to his Yeezy sneaker business, which Bloomberg places between $3.2 billion and $4.7 billion after reviewing private documents. Now, it is also worth mentioning that he owns 100% of that Yeezy business. Bloomberg also reports that West's upcoming Gap collaboration could be worth as much as $970 million, with additional income coming from music, catalog, cash, stocks, and business investments, such as estranged wife Kim Kardashian's Skims underwear brand. So maybe he's part owner or investor in his, I guess they're divorced now, Kim Kardashian's Skims brand, whatever the situation is. Yeezy is still very, very much alive and at the beginning. So this whole thing about Yeezys are dead, I don't necessarily believe that when, you know, there's so much innovation and creativity coming out of the Yeezy brand. I think it still has legs for a very long time to come. But it's just cool to see that he's doing well. Again, I think a lot of us are a fan of his sneakers in general and just a lot of the work and creativity that he does. And personally, I'm super excited for this Gap collaboration. Like, listen, I'm a big fan of affordable clothing, mainly because I ain't got the cash to buy the more expensive stuff, but I'm also a fan of affordable clothing, and now that it's associated with Yeezy, so it's gonna have that really cool aesthetic that we know and love from the Yeezy brand, but also be affordable, I think is a great idea, and more props to him. I cannot wait for that. And of course, we're gonna get into some more Yeezy news, but first, sticking with cash money, the Air Jordan 11 Jubilee made over 175 million. Pretty much the CEO, John Donahoe, which we previously mentioned last week for other reasons than just breaking news on how much money they're making. We were talking about the whole backdooring thing, but yeah, essentially he came out and he said that literally just the Jubilee 11 brought in 175 million in revenue. And then this article breaks it down. So obviously they're $220 at retail price each, which would land the amount of pairs somewhere between 800,000. So obviously this is an extremely popular pair of shoes that did extremely well. And I have to agree, it's a clean, or obviously a very, very clean pair of sneakers. Essentially, Complex did a little interview with Jerry Lorenzo. And Jerry Lorenzo, obviously we know, moved over to Adidas, and immediately we started getting creative in our heads. Okay, what is Adidas and Jerry Lorenzo gonna bring to the table? Is it gonna be some crazy basketball sneakers? Is it gonna be a clothing line? Well, now there's actual talks of a Yeezy and Fear of God collaboration. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play you a clip of the actual interview, which was of course over Skype or Zoom, but I'm gonna put some sound on this because you probably want to hear.
Is there any possibility of a Yeezy Fear of God Athletics crossover?
That's so funny you asked. I mean, we've definitely had those conversations and everything's on the table at this point. And, you know, super happy to kind of be back, you know, in business with Ye, you know, who's, you know, a big part of, you know, why I'm where I am today. So, you know, everything's on the table at this point. But that's a good question.
There we have it. So he literally says everything or anything is on the table when it comes to a Fear of God Yeezy collaboration. Now, literally Yeezy has never done a collaboration as of yet. So imagine Yeezy getting into that. I think it could be very, very interesting. Of course, we had kind of rumors, or we actually had a leaked image of the shoes, the D Rose and Yeezy collaboration on the kind of foam runner, crazy lookalike clog thing. That could be a potential upcoming release, potentially this year, maybe next year. We never really know when it comes to Yeezys. Sometimes we see stuff and then we don't see it for a long time coming. But hey, I'm down for this. I'm sure a lot of you guys are. What would that look like? Because all I'm thinking about in my head is the Fear of God line having a very Nike aesthetic. So to see Yeezy working with a brand, especially, well, a guy that did work with Nike, I think that could be pretty damn cool. But it definitely gets, it gets the engines going, us thinking of how creative this collaboration could be. And I think it could be really awesome. Right, so this one's just going to be a quick update because, I mean, I've been talking about these shoes for a long time and I cannot tell you how incredibly excited I am for these two pairs, the Nike Sacai Vaporwaffle. Listen, I've got two colorways of the Vaporwaffle and the price just keeps going up. Now, this is not my size. I really want to get my size in this colorway, but at the same time, I don't mind getting a new pair. Like, I literally just want another colorway of this Sacai Vaporwaffle. So yeah, we've got more information on the actual release date around the 27th of April, so the 27th of next month. So literally we are a month out from seeing 2 new colorways. Will they be hard to get? 100%. Will we probably take L's on Nike sneakers? 100%. eBay, you brought through this crazy awesome sneaker authentication service to the US recently, and I've heard only good things about it. Apparently it's great. Now, I've been using eBay over here in the UK quite often. I tend to not go towards StockX anymore because it's so long when it comes to buying a pair of sneakers. Like you put in an order, you gotta wait for this person. Obviously you have all of the fees involved. Sometimes it's so much quicker. Like I can get shoes the next day on eBay, and it's cool. They do have the buyer's protection on eBay, but we don't have the authentication service, which is again a little bit annoying. They give you a little NFT tag so you can scan it on your phone to make sure that it hasn't been passing hands, or just to make sure that it's actually from eBay. Essentially why we're talking about this is because they're moving to Australia. I think it is still only for Yeezys and Jordans over $200, but it's an awesome service. eBay is doing good. It's just awesome when we have more competition to just StockX and GOAT. We need more so that we can bring the prices down and we can bring up the authentication. Be 100%. If you're gonna say 100% authentication guarantee, make sure that happens. Make sure we get stuff quickly. Make sure the prices are low, and that's what competition always brings. But yeah, I'm excited to get this in the EU whenever it does come. All right, so this is another one that dropped, I believe, yesterday, and something that's kind of developing. The Forum Low from Adidas, or well, I guess the Forum model in general, whether it's a low or a high. So these have been, I don't really want to talk about the shoe necessarily, but the hype, because that seems to be generating, and it's kind of like, hey, are we at the beginning of something that could be popping off? So I don't know whether it's just very smart marketing and people are like, yo, this is going to be the next dunk. It's going to see a huge resurgence here in 2021 and everybody's going to want this pair of shoes. So far, I don't necessarily believe we've seen that. However, there is a lot more people talking about the Forum Low and the High, obviously. And apparently the materials are dope, and the price tag on these, I think, is just $100. So it's very affordable and it's good materials, something that the materials are kind of lacking on dunks. And hey, maybe I'll do a review on it, or I'll just let you guys know how I'm feeling on the Forum silhouette. Some more Yeezy news, because Yeezy is still popping off in March. Trust me, we have to talk about the big release that is coming up this weekend, but for right now, let's go into the new stuff. So the Yeezy Desert Boot randomly just popped up for March the 29th. Now this one does seem to be very, very contrasty in terms of its color options. So all over 10 on the top, which again seems pretty normal for a pair of desert boots. However, look at that midsole, man. You are stepping in pure ice. It is solid blue, and a very, very vibrant, bright blue at that. I haven't actually tried the desert boot just yet. Like, I never got the desert boot. I feel like it's not a shoe that I necessarily needed. Maybe now, because I'm back in the UK, I may need a boot. However, at the time, I was out in Australia, so I never needed a boot pair of shoes. But yeah, this is definitely something I want to check out because it is very different. I mean, a boot that has a huge blue midsole is definitely very interesting. I don't think it looks bad. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think it looks bad. I just think it looks interesting. Something that I want to see and I want to try on before I judge it. But March 29th is the release date on this one if you want to check it out, if you want to grab it. 350 news. We have the Yeezy 350 UV sensitive pair of shoes. So right now, this image that's flashing between two kind of different colors, essentially it's almost like a solid white pair of Yeezy 350s. However, when it's exposed to UV light, i.e. the sun, it slightly changes color. So I think the most notable change is the stripe, but the prime knit actually shifts to a kind of purple or light blue color as well, which is very interesting. I'll try and see if they've got a picture of the actual knit. No, they don't. There is an actual image of the knit where you can see like someone has it, and it's the two varying differences between when it's exposed to UV and when it's not. This is going to be extremely popular. A lot of white or lighter colored pairs of Yeezys are always popular, and something like this, even though it may seem a little bit gimmicky, is definitely going to pop off. I'm excited for it. Now this is arriving in August if you want to get your hands on it, which kind of seems like the back end of summer. So I feel like this one should have released earlier, but I don't know. Either way, this one's coming in August. We do also have a Yeezy 500 High. And this is actually a really solid color option. Like, look at this. It's very, very light. It's a mixture of different tones or hues of a nice colored blue. And it also has some very nice kind of tannish or cream colored accents to it as well. Like, I'm actually a big fan of this color option, depending on how it looks in hand. Like I said, Yeezy's going crazy with the blue color. It's going to be showing up on everything. Now, I think this is going to be releasing next month in April. This is called the Frost Blue 500 High. April, if you want to get it, that should be next month. Right, so we had the Union Jordan 4 recently, and for this year, we're going to be getting a Union LA collaboration on the Jordan 3. Now listen, we've got two colorways. This one right here, the true blue colorway, and then if I slide this across, we have the fire red colorway. I cannot make my mind up to which one I like more. Maybe this blue one seems like something I would prefer. However, both look really cool. They both look very Union LA when it comes to a Jordan. But hey, we're getting two new colorways from Union and of course Jordan brand, and it is going to be on the Jordan 3 model. So yeah, 2021, we are going to get a lot more information on this. However, right now it's just sometime this year. I would imagine closer to fall. Maybe they just drop these in summer. We really don't know yet. But yeah, stay tuned to the channel because I will give you more updates. Next up, the Yeezy foam runners. Let's talk about the next release date that we have on schedule. Guys, this is going to be so incredibly hard to get. I just know everybody's going to be going for these. We've got two colorways of the foam runners releasing this weekend on March the 26th. Right now, we don't have any information or like enough information for me to make a how to cop video. However, it will be coming this week. Subscribe to the channel because I will give you guys all of the best tips and everything. I mean, you guys have seen my how to cop videos. I give you all the raffle links and everything, and Lord knows you are going to need it for this one because I think everybody is going to be going for these. Just seeing how crazy insane the resale was on the last pair, and I think everybody that wasn't in the US is sitting on the edge of their seats just waiting for another foam runner to release. And now we're getting two very solid colorways. Like the sand colorway is pretty much just the Ararat, just a very, very slight difference in color, and then the moon gray is different. So I think everybody's gonna want the moon gray. These things like the foam runners, the 450s, the crazy sun colorways, they're all limited, so I would imagine these are limited as well. So if you want to stay up to date on these, the best thing to do is subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram, because I'm just going to keep on updating you guys as much as I possibly can leading up to this release. Now, that pretty much wraps it up. We've got one more thing, nothing major, no more news, but did you guys watch the Zack Snyder take, or the Zack Snyder director's cut of the Justice League? And what did you think about it? If you haven't seen it, it is very worth mentioning that it is a 4-hour long movie. I'm personally a huge Marvel fan, so like I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I watch all of the movies. I made it a huge event, like when the Avengers movies came out, I like rewatched everything in chronological order leading up to Endgame, Infinity War, and I went to the cinema like the midnight release. And it was just crazy. I didn't dress up or anything, but I did do that. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I'm talking about the Justice League movie. Now, honestly, for a 4-hour movie, it's not that bad in terms of like, you don't get bored. I do want to watch it again, but yeah, essentially, let me know if you guys managed to see the Zack Snyder cut, or if you're going to be watching it. Of course, I'm not going to give you any spoilers except for the fact that it's 4 hours, so you kind of need to clear your evening or your afternoon whenever you're going to be watching it for 4 hours, because it's a very, very long movie. I think for a 4-hour movie, they did it pretty well. I am trying to get into a little bit longer form on these videos. I just feel like it's we have such a crazy week of reviews, and when it comes to those reviews, I can't be as connected as I want to be with you guys. I want to make sure that the reviews are very focused on the sneakers. That's what a review should be. A lot of B-roll shots, a lot of information about the shoes, but what I do sacrifice is a little bit of connection with you guys. So that's why I want to do a Sunday kind of thing where we just sit down and chill out. And it's not every story is going to be about sneakers, but we can chop it up about Justice League. Hey, why not? Let me know if you enjoy the longer form kind of chilled out vibe that comes with these Sunday things, and I don't even know what I'm going to call it, whatever. You get information out of these videos as well. Either way, thank you so much for coming through and hanging out for yet again another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. And of course, I will catch you guys in the next one. But until then,